about the reaction from my last video, or the second to last video, where I was talking about Brandon Tatum and his interaction that he recounted at a grocery store, where a guy in a parking lot rolled by, flipped him off, he says because of the thin blue line flag. And a lot of people from Brandon Tatum's audience came over and, basically it's a bunch of ad hominems. You're lying about Brandon Tatum. I stand behind Brandon Tatum. Guys, don't be in don't follow me as a personality. Don't follow Brandon Tatum or Tucker Carlson or a liberal or a conservative. That's where you get into trouble. Drinking the Kool-Aid, checking yourself into the cult of personality, cementing yourself in cognitive dissonance to where you can't even think because this personality can do no wrong. Brian Young can do no wrong. Brandon Tatum can do no wrong. And then you get yourself, then you have these personality wars. Oh, you took everything you said out of context. Well, prove it. Prove it. We're going to talk about that right now. This is one of my most downvoted videos, but do downvotes really matter if you're on the side of truth? Now, whether I'm on the side of truth or not is up for it's for you to determine, but you need to determine it based on the plumb line of truth. It's not the majority who will prevail, but the irate and tireless minority who are keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. Brush fires of what? Brush fires of freedom. Brush fires of truth. That's what I want to set in your mind. I want you to be disconnected from the cult of personality. I want you to shatter your cognitive dissonance. I want you to get out of your echo chamber. Start thinking for yourself. Start asking questions. Are there good cops? Is there a problem with the thin blue line flag? Is it a desecration of the American flag? What does the thin blue line flag actually mean? What does it mean when we say we're going to support the police? When you say you support the police, or when you see a military man, thank you for your service, what are you really saying? What service are you thanking that military man for? Are you thanking him for being a bankster puppet? Remember what Kissinger said, military, in his estimation, and this is the former Secretary of State, Henry Kissinger, and they all think like this, guys. All the puppet politicians, the parasitic politicians think like this toward the military and toward the police. Kissinger said military men are dumb, stupid animals made to be used as pawns for foreign policy. I didn't say that. Kissinger said that. So when you thank somebody for their service, are you thanking them for being a banker puppet? Because that's what they are. They're a banker puppet for the multi-billionaire corporate handlers. These people are out there not securing freedoms for America, but they're out there securing profits and resources for the powers that shouldn't be. That's what's going on. That's been going on for a long time. Eisenhower, I got to plug my computer in. Eisenhower was talking about, beware of the horrors of the military-industrial complex. And yet here we are thanking people for their service in the military-industrial complex. So all I'm here to do is say, what are you thanking that military man or woman for what service are you thanking them for? What allegiance are you pledging to the thin blue line flag? What does it actually represent? Are there good cops? Here's a subject I want to bring up real quick before we get into this Brandon Tatum thing, because apparently a lot of these comments, and we'll go over some of them, are about, I can't, because you're against the thin blue line, you think that's the flag of terrorism? You must be a libtard. You're a liberal. You're a transvestite, I've been told. You have low T count. You're a soy boy. Okay, let's say all those were true. What does that have to do with the conversation? What does that have to do with the argument? Are you trying to tell me that you don't have an argument? I'm not here poking fun at Brandon Tatum's audience, but I am here to expose the mentality of Brandon Tatum, and that's why I did that video. I don't have anything personally against the man. His ideologies are dangerous because the springboard by which he propels himself from that ideology is the left versus right paradigm, the conservatives versus the liberals, the elephants versus the donkeys, the Republicans versus the Democrats. Guys, if you're still in that game, you are still caught up in politics, which is the clever and deceptive art of using euphemisms, lies, emotionalism, and fear-mongering in order to dupe average people into accepting and even demanding the chains of their own enslavement. Because let's face it, for the billionaire class, for the powers that shouldn't be, it's not enough for you to accept the chains of your own enslavement. They want you to beg for it. Please rule us. Please, officer, control me. Please give me a ticket. I violated your laws, your man-made laws. Guys, there's natural law and that's it. Free men do not require permission from any government functionary or anybody else to live a free life. As long as you're not harming, threatening to harm, or stealing somebody else's stuff or damaging their stuff and not paying for it, you are free to do whatever you want. Your fist is free to swing until somebody else's nose begins, period. So that's what I'm pissed off about what Brandon Tatum is doing. And that is talking nonsense and trash about, oh, this guy flipped me off and he didn't like the thin blue line. Brandon Tatum admitted that he got into his feelings, that he was driven by emotion, that he started chasing this guy through the grocery store. Do I advocate what that guy did? I think there are better ways to do it. I understand why he did it. Guys, back the blue till it happens to you. Until you get abused or your family gets abused by the thin blue line, of course you're probably going to support him if you've never had a negative interaction with him. But if you've had a family member groped and violated and handcuffed with torture cuffs and thrown in the backseat of the car for having done nothing wrong, or getting their car impounded, or getting a frickin' $238 speeding ticket for going 7 miles an hour over the speed limit because some government functionary with a badge, uniform, and gun come with the authority of the state thinks that he needs to meet a quota. That is not serving and protecting. That is harassing and collecting. When somebody's got a thin blue line flag, it also automatically tells me this guy's checked out. He does not know what's going on. Because in my estimation, and correct me if I'm wrong, and you can leave a comment in the comment section below, there are only three kinds of cops. There's the criminal cop who says that he's there to do you good and he's there to uphold the law and he's there to protect your rights, but he's committing all sorts of criminality, like violating your First Amendment right, your Second Amendment right, your Fourth Amendment right to be secure in your person's houses, papers, and effects. The second kind of cop is the cop who sees the criminal cop engaged in criminal activity and says nothing, and therefore he's party to the crime. He's not even going to, can you imagine seeing a crime happen and never doing anything to stop the perpetrator? That's what these guys are doing. That's what the number two cops are doing. So you get the first cop committing the crime under color of law. And by the way, there's a U.S. code for that, 18 U.S.C. 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. Under color of law, they're there to deprive you of your rights. That's what laws are. They serve two purposes. Number one, they take away your power and they relieve you of your wealth so that they can increase the coffers of the state. And a strong state makes you and I weaker, because as they gain power, as they gain wealth, our wealth diminishes and it evaporates in the unholy light of the state. And the third kind of cop is the cop who sees the criminal cop do his nastiness under color of law and sees cop number two not calling him out for it. And then he becomes a whistleblower cop. Guess what? He gets fired or he gets offed. Oh, Barney, he got caught up in friendly fire when we did that drug raid because Barney wasn't, he wasn't willing to violate somebody's Fourth Amendment right to be secure in the person's houses, papers, and effects. He didn't want to help us kick down the door. Oops, he got caught up in friendly fire, or they get fired. Those are the only three kinds of cops. So you tell me, are there good cops? If you have a cop violating your First Amendment right, is he a good cop? If you have a cop, say in New Jersey and New York, who are actually going to believe the politicians and enforce a red flag law or any unconstitutional anti-Second Amendment infringement law, are you going to tell me that's a good cop? Any cop who's going to violate your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms, which shall not be infringed, I can't call him anything but a bad cop. And you tell me that means no cop that's going to enforce an anti-Second Amendment law, and they're all, by the way, they're all anti-Second Amendment. Any law on top of the Second Amendment is anti-Second Amendment. Even background checks, bump stock bans, magazine capacity limitations, long rifle ban. Those are all anti-Second Amendment. Why? Because they're infringements, and you shall not infringe on the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. So if you've got any cop in California, any cop in New Mexico, any cop in New Jersey, in New York, in New Hampshire violating the Second Amendment, you can't have a good cop there. He's going to tell you you can't have a personal protection device because his political parasitic class, which he's dangling by the strings of, is going to limit your ability to keep and bear arms and protect yourself and your family by any means you see fit. That's a bad cop. And any cop who's not going to call him out, that's cop number two, is a bad cop. The only good cop is the guy who stays a cop for just a very short time and is like, I can't have any part in this freaking nonsense where we're taking away people's rights, we're violating people's rights. That's the essence, that's the kernel of what a crime is. When you're doing something against somebody else's will without their consent. That's why rape is a crime. You're trying to take advantage of somebody sexually and they don't want to be a party to it. That's why murder's a crime, because you're trying to steal somebody's life and they don't want their life stolen. That's why theft is a crime, because you're stealing somebody's property and they don't want that, you're violating their right to be safe and secure. So how does it make it any different when the guy's wearing a costume and a shiny little badge and a utility belt? It doesn't make it different. He's just a human being like you and I. So you can call me you libtard, you soy boy, you transvestite, or whatever, man. Where did that stuff come from? Low testosterone, whatever. It's like, you're lucky you wouldn't say that to Brandon Tatum's face because he'd pound you in the dirt. Pound me in the dirt for words? Okay. All right. All right. All right, tough guys. So let me show you something here. Let me see. How do I turn this thing around? By the way, thanks for being here, guys. All right, we're gonna deal with some of this stuff. Let me know if we're doing okay. Can you guys hear me all right? All right, here's the video. And I just want to show you something. If you don't have this little thing, I got this thing in the corner called, what is it called? Return YouTube dislike. I got it in the corner of my, it's a free extension that you can get for Firefox or Chrome or whatever browser you use. And you can see the like dislike ratio. So 880 likes to 886. There's more dislikes than there are likes. You know why this doesn't matter to me? Because truth is truth, even if no one believes it, and lies are lies, even if everybody believes it. And Brandon Tatum, let me show you this. Brandon Tatum started out his video with a lie. Let me see. Do I have this on here? Let's see. Let me go to his. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, let me just show you. He starts out his video with a lie. And here is here's the thumbnail, if you can read that. The thumbnail. Leftist tried to fight me. At no time in his story recounting being out in the parking lot of a grocery store with the guy flipping him off and cussing out the flag or whatever it was, at no point did a leftist try to fight him. Truth matters, guys. A leftist did not try to fight him. Not in Brandon Tatum's testimony, not in his recounting of the entire story. He either left that out or he lied about it. And a lot of people go, well, that's just clickbait to get people. Look, I get trying to attract people to your video, but my idea of clickbait is this right here. That's a lie. It's a lie. Clickbait to me involves some kind of deception that the video is not about. There was no leftist that tried to fight him. There was a leftist and I don't even know if the guy was a leftist. There's no indication, because you can be against, let me turn this around real quick. You can be against the thin blue line. You can be against people who want to violate rights. You can be against politics and politicians. You can be against people on the right like Ted Cruz or let's give an example. Anybody who violates the Second Amendment, I got a serious problem with that. You violate the Second Amendment this much, that shows me how little you care about the people you claim to protect and serve. So when you got a Donald Trump going, my administration has endorsed the red flag laws. Guys, red flag laws is literally Minority Report pre-crime. You don't have to even have committed a crime. Somebody can go, oh yeah, I saw Joe in the grocery store and he was brandishing a firearm. Completely lies. I followed him to his house. He lives at this address on Elm Avenue or whatever. You need to send cops, and then the cops can go in, violate your Second Amendment rights, violate your Fourth Amendment rights, take all your guns out under the red flag law. That's they're called ERPOs, Extreme Risk Protection Orders. We feel like you're a danger to yourself or to somebody else. Therefore, we're going to execute this red flag law, this ERPO, Extreme Risk Protection Order, and we're going to protect you and we're going to protect society by violating your Second Amendment right and your Fourth Amendment right. Just steal your property completely. That's how red flag laws goes. Donald Trump was for red flag laws. Donald Trump was for bump stock bans. But if bump stock bans was all there was, that is a man trying to criminalize other people who own this plastic piece called a bump stock. And when you try to criminalize somebody, you're trying to penalize them and take away their rights. I got a big problem with that. And I think any freedom loving person does. I know, as a matter of fact, any freedom loving person, I know for a fact you do. And then Donald Trump goes, sitting next to add insult to injury, sitting next to Dianne Feinstein and saying, Mike, I like take the guns first, due process second. Wait, what? What? Yeah, don't even take him through due process. Just go ahead and take his guns, steal his property, make him insecure in his person's houses, papers, and effects. Dianne Feinstein's going, that's exactly what we want. I am as against Dianne Frankenstein. I am as against Nazi Pelosi as I am against bankster bot Donald Trump. Indiscriminately. Why? Because I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not in the cult of personality. I've cracked the cement of my cognitive dissonance long ago. Does that mean there aren't some cognitive dissonance cobwebs, still in my brain somewhere? Always. There's always better. You can always do better. You can always cleanse more junk out of your brain. They're constantly trying to churn up the propaganda machine and brainwash us. So we always have to be on our guard. But I don't take kindly to anybody who wants to take my rights away, my family's rights away, your rights away. I got a big problem with anybody who wants to initiate violence on somebody for just speaking their mind, whether you agree with it or not. Leftist almost got into a fight with me. No, did not happen. So let's go over just some of this. Thanks for being here, guys. 245 people in here, 171 likes. Somebody sent a super chat. What did the super chat say? Iron Man Metal, what's up? Tell it like it is. Love from Philly, home of the socialist. Thanks a lot, Iron Man Metal. Hey, guys, I really appreciate your support. If you want to give, probably the best thing to do if you want to sidestep the 30% usury fee from YT over here is my Cash App is under the video, and so is the buy me a coffee and subscribe star, because some of you know that I was terminated from Patreon and PayPal and Venmo and all those, so I appreciate it. But I just want to go over this real quick. The thing with Brandon Tatum is I got a serious problem with his mentality. People were saying something like, no, you misunderstand him. He didn't say he was going to put his hands on anybody. Yeah, he did. He said exactly that. Let me see if I can.
I said to put these hands on somebody at the grocery store.
Let me see. He said, let's see. He said, I almost had to put my hands on somebody at the grocery store. For what? For what? For flipping you out? For disrespecting the thin blue line flag? What did you almost have to put your hands on somebody for? Listen.
Put these hands on somebody at the grocery store. I almost had to throw the hands on homeboy at the grocery store. Now I almost had to put my hands on homeboy. I may have to put these hands on somebody. He said it 4 times, guys. I almost had to put my hands on somebody. What does that mean? That means the situation almost necessitated that I go hands on, that I get involved in some sort of violence. Guys, nothing in his story lent itself to that. He didn't. Everything he described is the exact opposite of going hands-on. Now, Brandon Tatum, if you ask me, was going up to the guy, harassing the guy. The guy, when he shot the bird and said whatever he had to say, it was just during the regular course of looking for a parking place, according to Brandon Tatum. The guy wasn't going out of his way to hunt Brandon down. He just saw a flag, it looked like, and flipped him off and didn't like it or whatever. Now, am I saying that Brandon Tatum doesn't have the freedom of speech to engage somebody? I didn't say that at all. But it looked to me like it verged a little bit on harassment. I wouldn't want to be harassed. I wouldn't want to harass somebody else. Would I want to confront somebody? Maybe. If somebody, let's say I had I don't have stickers on my car. So let's just say I had a screw Joe Biden sticker on my car and somebody flipped me off and said, Trump sucks or whatever. I'd want to engage that guy and have a conversation with him. And if he wanted to talk to me, I wouldn't be chasing him around the store or anything. Just say, hey, let's talk real quick. Let me explain to you why I don't like Biden. Let me explain to you that my disdain for Biden doesn't automatically mean that I love Trump. See, that's what I hate about the left versus right paradigm lie. And I think that's part of Brandon Tatum's mentality here, is he is stuck in the left versus right paradigm lie.
to the point where if you disagree with him, his followers come after you and call you a liberal. So let me just go ahead, babe. Let me just go ahead and let me read some of this stuff right here. This guy right here says, and I'm reading right here. I'm reading right here. Pretty sure he didn't say he was going to get violent with this guy unless he got violent with him, and the video proves that. He said almost had to go hands on. Brandon Tatum's thinking was already at violence. He said, I almost had to go hands on. There was nothing that the guy did to necessitate having to go hands on. To me, almost going hands on would be, oh man, this guy was running at Trish and running right in her direction. I almost had to go hands on, but then he tripped. You know, that's almost having to go hands on. Almost having to go hands on is not somebody saying something bad about my Biden sticker because I got my feelings hurt. It's like, does anybody realize how much puppet Biden, because he's dangling from a extra string just like Trump was, but does anybody realize that puppet Biden is literally ruining our country right now? Why would I get offended at somebody not misunderstanding that? I would rather engage this person and say, okay, maybe you're misunderstanding me, but me hating what Biden is and what Biden is doing does not automatically equal, oh, I'm for Trump or the other, some other Republican puppet. Far from the truth. Far from the truth. So this guy says, I know you probably can't read it. It's probably too far away. And the reason I'm doing this, guys, is because I'm on the road. I'm not at my desk, and I apologize for the low production quality on this. He says, I agree with him about leftists doing all this disrespectful stuff and expecting nothing to come back their way. I don't have a problem with Brandon Tatum initially just going, hey man, let me explain the blue line flag and what I'm doing. That wasn't what it was. And Brandon Tatum's mind is, hey, he did this to me. I almost had to put my hands on homeboy. Or I may have to pull out the strap, he said, talking about his firearm. I'm not referring to flipping the bird. I'm referring to the leftists assaulting people over Trump hats, etc. There was no assault. This guy's literally got 123 upvotes on this. And the guy didn't even come close to assaulting Brandon Tatum or even walking in his way to assault Brandon Tatum. This person says, I'm with Tatum. You were very liberal with your interpretation of this video. Let me tell you exactly what this video is about. Number one, this video was about, thanks, Chris Lewis. I appreciate that. Let's see. For some reason, they've been erasing my pinned comments here, guys. Let me refresh this page. Look, we're at 899 to 899 to 892. I'm cool with that, guys. I'm not here trying to ruffle anybody's feathers. The first thing is Brandon Tatum lied about the thumbnail. Leftists try to fight me. That's just a lie. Second, so I got a problem with lying. If you have a problem with lying, then you should have a problem with what Brandon Tatum did. Second thing, Tatum was defending the thin blue line flag. And if you care about true freedom, this is indefensible, guys. Think about Kelly Thomas. And guys, I'm not one of those guys who goes, yeah, you know what the problem with the police department is? They're mostly racist. Guys, it's not a race problem in police departments. Could there be some people who don't like other people because of the color of their skin? Of course. But the majority is power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. When you give somebody a monopoly on force and power, which Leos have, law enforcement agents and organizations have unbridled, unquestioned, unmatched monopoly on power. When you give somebody that kind of power, what do you expect to happen? What do you expect? Somebody's got unbridled, unquestioned authority over you, and if you try to do something, then they'll unleash the authority of the state on you. They'll unleash the resources, the dogs on the ground, the helicopters in the air. They'll get you. And that's just if you're defending yourself. If a cop pushes you and you push him back, and it's like, get away from me, man. Oh, you're going down, man. You are going down. That's the problem I have. This thin blue line. How can you expect not to have a problem when you give a man unquestioned power? Does power corrupt? And absolute power corrupt? Absolutely. Because if it doesn't, then I'm wrong. But if it does, that's the last thing we need to be doing. If the problem in this world is that there are evil people, then you don't want to give some of those evil people a monopoly on force and power. It's a recipe for disaster.
So the second thing is just the mentality of Brandon Tatum defending the thin blue line, which represents not freedom. It doesn't represent your values. It doesn't represent morality. It represents conformity. These cops are conformists. They're the hey, look, I'm just giving you this ticket because I'm following orders. I'm just doing my job. I'm just trying to keep the streets safe. I'm just doing what my captain told me to do. That's what the SS tried to do, guys. I'm just following orders. How much evil has been perpetrated or propagated on this earth in the name of, hey, I'm just doing my job. I'm just following my orders. That's like the tube, the tunnel, the conduit through which most, if not all, evil enters the world. I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job. Break in that door right there. He's got 6 plants that he shouldn't have. His electric rate has gone up. I know he's got hydroponics in there. He's probably growing pot. Break his door down. That is a violation of your right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Guys, if your pursuit of happiness is shooting up Drano, go for it. As long as you're not hurting somebody else, you have the right to harm your own body. You have the right to snort put whatever you want to in your nose, put whatever you want to in your veins, fill your lungs with as much MJ as possible. Have your whole backyard filled with, budding plants. Who cares? But then the government comes along and goes, we're going to make that illegal. Oh, you're drinking alcohol? 1920s, think 1920s. We're going to criminalize anybody who owns, distills, transports, buys, or sells alcohol. We're going to criminalize all those people. Look what happened. It gave rise to crime. Illegality and legality are constructs of the mind, and we got to break that because there's no such thing as an illegal plant. There's no such thing as legal or illegal anything. Do you realize it was illegal to free slaves back in the 1800s? It wasn't immoral. It was illegal. It's highly moral to release somebody from the chains of their own oppression. But it was illegal in the minds of the politicians. So you were a criminal if you did something righteous. It's legal to kill babies in the womb. Does that make it moral? Morality does not equal legality any more than immorality equals illegality. As a matter of fact, most things that are illegal are neither here nor there. They're amoral. Smoke pot if you want to. Snort coke if you want to. Do whatever you want to do. Be your own person. Damage your own body. Get hooked on drugs. Get addicted to pornography. Drink all the alcohol you want to drink. If that's your idea of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, hey, just don't force it on me. But people have this idea of, oh, cops are doing good because they ripped out 52 plants in Junior's backyard, and that's the only way he had to support his family is by selling MJ. I don't. That's not consistent with keeping a person secure in their person's houses, paper, and its effects. That's a direct violation of the Fourth Amendment, and it's deprivation of rights under color of law. Do you or do you not have the right to grow pot in your backyard? Or poppies, or whatever. You can do whatever you want to do. Just don't harm, threaten to harm, steal somebody's stuff, or damage their property without paying for it. And never initiate unjust force and violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. If somebody's expressing their opinion toward you, do you really have the right to go, oh, I'm about to go oh man, I almost went hands-on with you because you said something I didn't like you to say because you flipped your bird up to my blue line flag there. That's what I got a problem with. And that's what we're revealing here is the mentality of Brandon Tatum, because it exponentiates itself across the land because there's a lot of people who have this mentality themselves. And this is where the initiation of violence comes from. The fourth thing is Tatum is a guy who's okay with an adult beating up a kid as long as that adult is wearing a costume and a badge. Remember that video that we did? As a matter of fact, I did 2 videos on it. And it's unbelievable to me. Guys, are you against child abuse or are you not? Brandon Tatum says, that's why I call him Brandon Soften Him Up Tatum. People are like, you're engaging in an ad hominem every time you say Brandon Soften Him Up Tatum. Well, it's only an ad hominem if it's not true. Or if I bring it up during the course of a conversation where it has nothing to do with the conversation. That's what an ad hominem is. It's a way to seek to, call somebody a name so you don't have to deal with the content of the argument. But this fits perfectly with that argument because if his mentality is he's okay with child abuse as long as the child abuser is wearing a uniform, which I got a huge problem with that. And you saw that kid had little stick arms and, easily overpowered. This guy straddles him and starts pounding on his chest. And Brandon Tatum says, I got no problem with him softening that boy up. What was the boy doing? Was he committing a crime? No, he was trying to engage in a mutually consensual business transaction where he was trying to buy some tobacco products from somebody. That's none of that cop's business. Do I think it's a good idea for minors to buy tobacco and use tobacco products? I think it's a bad idea for anybody to get involved in that kind of stuff. But hey, is he a free moral agent or isn't he? I'm not his parent. You're not his parent. The cop sure isn't his parent. It's not the cop's business. The kid wasn't committing a crime. He wasn't breaking windows. He wasn't spray painting and vandalizing. He wasn't hitting little old ladies across the head and stealing their purse. And even if he was, it all depends on the situation, but even if he was, child abuse is not a good thing. And when I call him Brandon soften him up Tatum, that takes it straight from the video where he says, hey, it's okay for this guy to soften him up, this adult man straddling this little kid. It's just pitiful. Guys, I would have a problem if the parent was doing that in the front yard with their own kid. You don't abuse a child. And the last thing is, he said 3 times, I almost had to put my hands on homeboy. Guys, that's called violence. That's called having violence at the forefront of your mind. That's not trying to be diplomatic and trying to use your reasoning capabilities. He automatically, hey, this guy flipped me off. I was about to go hands on with him. Instead of, hey, I want to reason with you, man. If you don't want to talk, tell me about it, but just tell me what your rationale is. Did you have a bad experience with cops? Tell me about your experience. Let's see if we can build a bridge here. Guys, any fool can start a quarrel. Okay. I want to talk to Brandon Tatum. I would not even dream of talking to him or Donald Trump. If I had a conversation with Donald Trump, I wouldn't talk to them as an enemy. I would be talking to him as a potential construction worker, bridge builder. How can we build this bridge? How can we fill in this gap? How can we expose the left versus right paradigm lies? Because guys, none of us is greater than all of us, and we all better be on the same page real quick. Because Klaus, Great Reset, Fourth Industrial Revolution, You'll Own Nothing and Be Happy, Schwab, and all his little minion pals are behind the curtains, pulling the levers and pushing the buttons of power. And they aim to constrict the food supply to lead us to a one world digital currency and, do these supply line disruptions where things are going to cost us such a massive amount of money. The dollar is going to become worthless and we're going to basically lose everything. If the surveillance state moves in on the CBDCs, which is the central bank digital currency, all bets are off. We're screwed. Me and Brandon Tatum and ABL and all these people I disagree with, we all better understand this left versus right paradigm lie that keeps us all divided. And he continues to propagate it. That's what I got a problem with. And I'm disheartened to see all these just nasty comments under the video here. It's disheartening because it really reveals what's going on. Thanks for the likes, guys. 278 likes. Wait a second. Who did a super chat? Another super chat came in. I want to keep short accounts here. Let me shout this one out. Chris Lewis. I think you should do a live stream with fellow YouTuber named Young Ripa. Eric July, you and him agree on a lot, but you both disagree on the way to go about things. How can I contact you directly to go into greater detail? Chris Lewis, that'd be contact@highimpactflix.com. Contact@highimpactflix.com. Thanks for that super chat, man. Oh, it keeps freezing, guys? None of your business is great video, Brian, but they keep freezing your feed? Really? Shoot, I think I got a good... Yeah, he is a badge polisher, unfortunately, Brian Douglas. Can you guys see me okay? Is this, you guys can't, oh, WCMW says it's all right, 5x5. Young Ripa sounds familiar. I can't place him, though. I can't place him. Yeah, I'd be glad to talk to him. Guys, I'd be glad to talk to Brandon Tatum. Brandon, if you're watching this video, somebody told me, and guys, give me the link. If you guys can give me the link, one of my mods can give me the link, but somebody told me on my High Impact Flicks video that Brandon Tatum did something with my video. He posted it somewhere, but it's not on his YouTube channel. And then I looked over on my video here and I looked at the last, when you go to newest newest comments first. Then all these bad comments started coming in. B Tatum is legit all the time. The guy that made this video is creepy and just making this stuff to get more clicks on YouTube. He doesn't believe a word he says. What a weirdo. It's just, where do you go with somebody who makes assertions and assumptions like that? I don't know. I don't know where you go. So Junior Soprano, I don't know what you're talking about there. It's crazy how some people are still so asleep. People think they're awake. If they're on one side or the other, it makes no sense to me how you can take an oath to the Constitution and enforce politicians' laws and then get mad. And then if you support police, the other side gets mad. The whole world is going crazy. Well, if you're supporting police, you're not supporting the Constitution. If you're supporting police, you're not supporting individual liberties. If you're supporting police, you're not supporting the right to be secure in your person's houses, papers, and effects. Oh, you little snowflake, says John Johnson. Dude, I'm with Brandon. You're a pussy. Bet you scream defund the police, but are the first to call them. Guys, I've never called the police. I'm 54 years old. I've never called the police. You know why? Number one, it's fruitless. And number two, when you call the police, bad news shows up. Bad things happen to people who call police, guys. Time after time, and video after video. How many instances do we need of people calling police for help, and when the police arrive, they end up arresting the person who called them? I would not dare call a cop to help me out in anything. It's like, hey, what's the 9 most terrifying words in the English language? I'm from the government and I'm here to help. No, you're not. You're here to make things worse. You're here to take a record. You're here to take away my freedoms. The worst thing you can do in the world, unless you know what you're doing, is talk to a cop to answer their questions. It's just a bad way to go. And the second thing is, why would you call a cop when you can just, let's say your house is getting broken into. Why would you get on 911 and go, please send a cruiser over here? I think somebody's breaking in. It's like, why call 911? You can call 1911, or you can call 357, or you can call Glock 22. And if you want to call the coroner and have him pick up the body here, I'll tell you what, I'll put it out. You can pick it up on trash day. I'm going back to sleep. Don't send any cops to my house, please. So people are like, you're such a pussy. It's like, okay, let's say I am a pussy. Where am I wrong? YouTube thought I would randomly endorse this channel with this specific video that's getting ratioed by its own viewers. I don't think it's getting ratioed by my own viewers. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know. But it's more likely that it's because I've never had anything under like a 98 or 99% like to dislike ratio. And I go over this kind of stuff all the time. So pretty sure I'm getting ratioed by Brandon Tatum's audience. And the only thing I have a problem with that on is it's ratioed for no reason. It's ratioed because people are embedded, ingrained, immersed in the cult of personality. They're taking one side over the other. They're assuming that I'm a liberal because I'm against what Brandon Tatum is about. Guys, if you're against child abuse, if you're against anybody coming against your individual rights, then you have to be against Brandon Tatum. Brandon Tatum showed how little he cared about the First Amendment. That guy had a First Amendment right, actually, just let's call it a natural right, to express his feelings toward a thin blue line flag. Yes, Brandon Tatum had a right to question him on it, but Brandon Tatum crossed the line by, in my opinion, going out to harass the guy. And then saying that a leftist tried to fight me when it was completely a lie. Trying to piggyback off Tatum's popularity with video makes no sense. So when you see this kind of stuff right here, you know what Tatum does? Tatum makes comments on other videos, and I've never thought one time that Brandon Tatum is trying to piggyback off of other people's popularity. Before he got really popular, he did reaction videos on popular videos too, and never once did I think, oh, he's just trying to steal somebody else's limelight. I always think, you try to think the best of somebody. It's like, okay, I think this guy's trying to, maybe he's going to make a good point. And maybe he won't make a good point. Let's judge him on the merits. This guy goes, let's go, Brandon. You're a clown, and what is wrong with this country? But no reason why. Show me one place where I was in error on this video right here, on this breakdown of this video. And I'm not saying that in a pompous way, guys. I really want to know. If I was wrong, if I was off about something, Brandon Tatum's audience, let me know. This guy says he was on the SWAT team 100 pounds ago. I think he's saying that because
Brandon Tatum said in the video that he was on the SWAT team and he could easily take this guy down if something went wrong or something. You missed the point, buddy. People like you keep harassing conservatives. I've never harassed a conservative, and I don't think I've ever harassed a liberal. When we went out to question all the liberals at the March Against Our Rights, which they called March for Our Lives, I really wanted to find out where they were coming from so I could plant brush fires of freedom in their minds. I wasn't there to tick them off. I wasn't there to harass them. I wouldn't even harass, I don't know, some of those people would be hard to harass, like these like the woman or whatever that person was that screamed outside of the inauguration while Trump was being sworn in. I don't know. They would probably be pretty easy to harass. Or I said, ma'am. It's ma'am, okay? Stop flapping your gums. It's ma'am. But I've never harassed a conservative or a liberal. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in planting seeds. That's it. And I know you guys are too. You can't just keep talking. I think that means trash to someone and not expect to be called out. Nice job taking the video out of context. So they say I took the video out of context, but the bottom line is the guy said, I almost put my hands on homeboy. All the guy did was, put the finger up in the thin blue line flag. All I wanted to do with this video was unearth the mentality of ego-driven cops. When you contemplate a hands-on approach, then it better be a situation that necessitates that, or you are just somebody who wants to initiate violence. And it's like, I'm trying to imagine, I've seen so many Black Lives Matter shirts and signs, and I'm trying to think, first of all, I don't flip people off. I don't think maybe in high school I did when I was real immature. I would just, flip them off and give them a piece of my mind or whatever. That's just not how I roll. And I'm not against people who do it. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. And I've seen a lot of Black Lives Matter shirts. Guys, I'm completely against the ideology that underpins that frickin' statement. Because I already know Patrisse Cullors, which is one of the creators, one of the authors and founders of Black Lives Matter, Patrisse Cullors says we are trained Marxists. Guys, I had a serious problem with the ideology of Marxism because it literally is stealing stuff by force from the regular people to give it to the oligarchs in that society. Same thing with communism, socialism, Marxism, whatever ism you want to put behind there. Corporatism. It's literally a wealth redistribution campaign. I got a serious problem with that. And then you got, who is that guy? Hawk Newsom from the Black Lives Matter Greater New York area saying if black people don't get their rights, we're going to burn this country to ashes. Sounds like a terrorist threat to me. So I see Black Lives Matter signs all over the place and t-shirts all over the place. And I got a serious problem with that message because I know the springboard from which it operates. And I feel the exact same way about the evil that underpins that ideology as I do if I see a Blue Lives Matter shirt or slogan or thin blue line flag. I don't view them any different. They're both socialism. They're both initiations of violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. They both have the idea that somebody, whether the Black Lives Matter or the Blue Lives Matter, they believe they have a higher claim over your life and property than you, to the point where they do things to you where if you did the same thing to them, it would be considered a crime. Think about what cops do to you. All day long, all day, every day, they do stuff to you that if you did to anybody else, people would consider it a crime. And why? Why would they consider it a crime? Because it is a crime. Because it is a crime. So that's what I got a problem with. So you can call me liberal or whatever, but let's talk about the argument. Let's talk about the substance. You are a troll, this person says right here. Yo, my guy, how do you make a fully misleading diatribe about Tatum advocating violence and then offer up evidence that's completely contradicts yourself, but still think you did something? Good job, buddy. Guys, he said 5 times, I almost had to put my hands on homeboy for doing nothing more than expressing his disdain for cops. Dude, not all cops are terrorists. Well, you would have to prove that to me. There are bad ones, but more good ones than bad. That's not true. This is not a true statement, guys. If you've got a cop who violates in any way your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms, which shall not be infringed, you have a bad cop. Automatically, right off the bat.
And every cop does that. If you have any cop who's going to enforce the drug law, guys, the long, costly, failed, deadly drug war. It's not a war on drugs. It's a war on people. Any cop who's throwing people in jail to increase the coffers of the prison industrial complex is not a good cop. Cannot be a good cop. There is a difference between good and evil, and never the twain shall meet. And don't try to muddy the waters there. Don't try to muddy the clear waters of truth. It's either true or it's not. It's either a good cop. There is no good cop, guys. There's no good cop. Damn, you wrong when you don't even have one comment that supports your own channel. Is that right? If the majority is against you, that does not necessarily mean that you're wrong. I would like to talk to somebody in the Brandon Tatum audience who wants to just talk strictly on the merits. The moment you call police flag a terrorist flag, you gave away your position on where you're going to take this. Calling the flag a terrorist flag makes you the snowflake. You look like somebody who would call the cops if a black person walked through your yard. No, because I can't think of anything more dangerous than calling the cops. Which you wish you could be half the man Tatum is. These are all schoolyard comments, guys. These are the videos that the dislike button died for. LOL. I bet the count on this is high. I told people in my pinned comment how they can actually find it. See, look at my pinned comment. Disappeared again. Disappeared again. That was live too. Once again, the thin blue line flag is not a desecration of the American flag. Due to flag code, which is hilarious. The American flag is red, white, and blue. The thin blue line flag is black, white, and blue. It may look like the American flag, but it is not, in fact, that flag. It represents domestic terrorism, guys. Any cop in your area, any sheriff who would allow, let's say, the IRS to come in and confiscate your stuff is not a constitutional law officer. He doesn't care about your rights. He doesn't care about individual liberties. Steve in the comment section says, resist tyranny. F transhumanism says, Brian, you aren't wrong. You just got a cult following. Oh, shoot. A cult following coming at you. Unfortunately, I think I agree with you, F transhumanism. What's up, Talks with Ryan? Tatum's group is doing nothing but agreeing for enforcement. I meant to say. Oh, I didn't see your first comment. Let me go over to some of these super chats. Gail Hornig says, Brian, Tatum is live and name under the screen is Officer Tatum. If link gets exposed, he is live. Oh man, this would be interesting. Thanks, Gail. Darn, where's his channel? Where's his channel? Let me refresh this. Finally got exposed. Oh,
in the next 20 years to hell. That's why I see America going. America's going to hell in the next 20 years, inevitably. But it can be prolonged if we get Republicans in office. Good Republican people in office. Other than that, our country's gone.
He's been streaming for 35 minutes.
Down our throat. Our kids are retarded. Like, it just on and on and on and on. It's not a good look for us. Let's see, Don, thanks so much for another super chat. David Hart tweeted, if you need a license to kill a deer, why don't you need them to kill a human? You need to get accepted into Harvard. Unbelievable. Well, you know. Once these weenies
I'm going to try to
get a little bit of fame, they don't have honest arguments. So they got to make up this facade.
I'm gonna try to write him something, see if I can get his attention.
A concealed carry license, I guess, in our state, you don't need nothing. It's a constitutional carry state. You don't need nothing. If you want a CCW, it's a lot more convenient to buy guns with a CCW, whatever it may be. If you want a CCW, you can get a CCW. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can conceal and open carry in the state of Arizona with no nothing. You want reciprocity across states, then the CCW is something. I think you should get constitutional carry reciprocity across all states in the union. That's how it should be.
All right, here's what I wrote.
However,
here's what I'm going to send to him. I'll be glad to talk with Tatum about the video I did exposing him. Let's keep it on the topic.
You know, I don't. I
I'm
mean,
gonna send
not
that right now.
certified to be a police officer. I mean, to be in the prison system and you get to pull the
There, I
plug
just
on
sent it
someone
right
with
there.
death penalty. Maybe
I don't know if he's gonna see it. He's got a lot of people on here. He's got 2,900 people
you
watching
get a
it.
tag to hunt deer or a license or whatever. I don't know. I don't hunt.
Here goes a dumpster fire, says Anarchy.
Yeah, but when you talk about humans, you can only defend yourself in self-defense if it's going to cost taking.
Let me see if I can.
There's no license for that.
I'm going to back this up. Let's see.
There's no benefit. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you get access to saying I could take another person's life. No.
Somebody says, Tatum, change the subject. Tell us why you got fired, Tatum. Here, let me go to the very beginning of this video. See what he's talking about here.
Oh man, I just love all the haters that's gonna show up on this live stream and think they didn't got something. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the reason why I titled it this because a person made a video about me earlier yesterday. Somebody shared it with me. A guy made a video about me and tried to say that I was promoting things that I wasn't promoting in the video, the last video I made about the guy at the grocery store. And I thought it was incredibly funny because when people are jealous of you,
oh God, here we go.
They are insecure about who they are. They typically project that onto other people. For anybody that say that Brandon Tatum is a fraud.
Okay, so there's where he's going with this. He's going with the reason I did the video is because I'm insecure. That's a good way to get out of an argument, but it doesn't change the fact that he said, quote, I almost had to put my hands on homeboy 3 times. Let's just play it over. I think it would be appropriate. Just for people who are joining right now. Be appropriate to just show what he actually said. Remember, this is in the context of a guy who simply drove by, shot the bird, and said some expletive about the thin blue line flag.
To put these hands on somebody at the grocery store.
Almost had to put these hands on somebody at the grocery store.
Almost had to throw the hands on homeboy at the grocery store.
Almost. Like he was so close to throwing hands on him for what, Brandon? For words. He already had violence in his mind to the point where he actually thought it was right up to that point where I got to go hands on, man.
I almost had to put my hands on homeboy.
That's 3rd time.
These hands on somebody, or I may have to, pull out the strap.
That's the 4th time. Remember, the context is a guy who's just expressing his freedom of speech.
That person is jealous. That person is.
So now that's an assumption. Assertions without justification or substantiation is the height of ignorance. Instead of dealing with exactly what he said and exactly what I said that he said, he's going to go with, the only reason this guy made a video on me is because he's jealous. That's a pretty easy route to go by.
Envious that they have not gotten to a place that they are excited about.
That's an ad hominem, guys. That's an ad hominem. This has nothing to do with the argument at all. Wow, that's crazy. See that's just it, BB Buster. It's not about debate with these guys. It's about, okay, here's what you said. Why did you say it's okay to soften up a little minor at the hands of a? It's not even about. I don't even think debate would be useful to a guy who's achieved this level of, fame or whatever. He's closing in on what, 2 million? Yeah, 2 million subscribers. And he's grown exponentially over the last year and a half. And how he grew is he got invited to the White House and a whole bunch of, ABL, Candace Owens. Their fame and popularity spread like crazy. Guys, this isn't about being famous. This isn't about being popular. This is about having a pure message. This is about planting seeds of freedom. If you plant anything other than seeds of freedom, we are literally going to reap this communist, socialist, evil, somebody right here just said Grease Monkey Videos is live now. You should talk to him. I would totally love to. I would totally love to talk to this guy. I would not in any way treat him like an enemy, even though he's treating us like an enemy by propagating what he propagates. This is a horrible thing, man. This is horrible.
That they are not at a place in their life where they are feeling I could say, I wouldn't say happy.
Yeah, 737 right here just said, talk to Brian. He's live. Let me refresh this. You know what I might do? I might do a video on this video later, but let's catch up with what he's actually saying right now.
There's an arrow that this can call only one. Okay.
Yeah, 737 says Brian's live. Talk to him.
All right, let me go back.
Debate Brian or you soft, says Dylan Dooley right here.
Okay, I'm gonna make this one inactive, and I'm gonna make the other one active. So let's disable this one, and I'm gonna make another one real quick, and then I'm gonna do it.
By the way, I'm not a hater of Brandon Tatum. Okay, I don't hate this guy. I would love for this guy to get off of the Trump train. I would love for this guy to get off the left versus right paradigm lie.
Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Okay. So if you guys on the just for y'all tonight.
Yeah, 737 says talk to Brian. Here, let me just
do this to make it easy, so you don't have to remember any discount codes for anybody on here, and it's going to end at.
Oh, he's going to talk about he's selling stuff. That's another thing. People are like, "You're just a salesman." You're just a salesman who talks about other people's content. Guess what? Brandon Tatum sells stuff too, and he talks about other people's content. And I don't have a problem with him selling stuff or talking about other people's content, because I don't know. Here, let me do one more message to him. Hold on one second. I got to put my phone down. Okay, hold on one second. Let me prop this thing up right here. I'm still here, guys. I just got to type this out. Can't do it with the. Yeah, 737 keeps saying Grease Monkey is live. Talk to him. Oh, it's the Officer Tatum. Yeah, so I just said, hey, at Officer Tatum, let's talk. Be interesting to talk to him, see what he says. Snapzilla Gorillas tried to talk to him, and it really comes to nothing. These people truly do believe in the left versus right paradigm lie. They promote it. This guy says, this Tony Baloney says, if you talk to Brian from Grease Monkey videos, I'll buy your book. I got no ill will against anybody.
Store.
But I'm not going to be silent.
The entire store, 50% off.
He's still talking about his store.
And like I said, I can only do it to midnight because I know I'm losing money on a lot of the stuff that I got in there. But
that's not true.
No code. Just go on there.
That's not true.
Go on there. Error. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to. This Eric H says talk to Brian. Brian ain't worth talking to. I think anytime you can talk to people who have an open mind, it's a good thing. Tatum was the videographer while SWAT did their thing, says Ehrlich. I don't know about that. Let's see. Yeah, it is dishonest, Rip. I know about that stuff. You can. That's just silly. Just silly for him to say that. He did not have to say that. Guys, seriously, if somebody, here's the deal. I think it's childish, but if somebody wanted me to, if Brandon Tatum goes, let's settle this in the ring, I'd be like, okay. I weigh 180 pounds, 185 pounds. You weigh 260 and you're 6'2". That's fine. What's that gonna prove? Either you're still wrong and I'm right, or you're wrong and I'm wrong, because we both can't be right. It's like this oh man, you soy boy, and it's just hilarious. People talking out of turn. They don't even know what they're talking about.
or who they're talking to or what this person actually believes. They just get their feelings hurt because somebody that they follow because they're in the cult of personality, got exposed. Because I'm telling you guys, if any one of you flip me off for, or anybody, if anybody flipped me off for anything, it's like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I'd be curious. I'd be like, hey man, just asking, why'd you flip me off? I mean, did I cut you off in traffic back there? If I did, I'm sorry. I don't think I did. Wouldn't you want to just talk to somebody and just say, hey man, I'm not offended. You can feel however you want to feel about my flag or my bumper sticker or my car or the color of my skin or whatever. But let's have a conversation. Let's see if we can build a bridge. Let's see if we can, solidify a relationship and make at least a little part of our world a little bit better place. I'll meet you in the ring. Let me tell you a little story. I was in college. This is so funny. I was in college, and there's a fraternity called the Pikes, and I was in the Teaks. I was TKE, Tau Kappa Epsilon, and there's the Pikes. Well, every year they had Pike fights in Murphy Center in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I don't know if they still have them, but it was just an open fight. You could fight whoever you wanted to. They try to keep you in your own weight class and all that kind of stuff. Well, anyway, my friends talked me into fighting and doing this kind of stuff. So me and my roommate, we just trained for like, I don't know, it was 3 or 4 weeks. And I started eating right. And we had the punching bag in our room and we would just go after it and we time each other and just do some moves and everything. And anyway, I lost a lot of body fat and I got shredded. So anyway, the fight night came and the guy that they lined me up to fight, I guess he got scared because I was pretty ripped. So I think he was just intimidated by the way somebody looks. By the way, the way somebody looks does not determine how the fight's going to go. You can see skinny guys taking down big guys. I think of Hoist Gracie is one of the first people I think of. If he gets you on the mat, I don't care how big of a bodybuilder you are, he will take you down and take you out. So, anyway, this guy got scared. I heard him say, oh, dude, I'm not fighting that guy. He's going to kill me. So they lined me up with another guy who had just got out of the Marines. The guy weighed like at least 240. This guy was massive. I'm only 5'10", 5'10 and a half or whatever. This guy was at least 6'2". At the very least, he was pretty big. He wasn't ripped up, but he was like a bear. Anyway, we started going, and my strategy, I had a little bit of a strategy, was just kind of stay away from him and just let him wear himself out. Well, he did. He wore himself out within, man, it's all a blur to me. It went so fast, but he wore himself out probably, I would say 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, and he was huffing and puffing. And then I would go in for the jabs, and it's not even that I was a better fighter. I don't think I was just faster and probably more in cardiovascular shape, and that's a big deal. And so he kept trying to, go after me, and he landed a couple good punches, man, and they hurt, but I was hurting him too. And he got so frustrated with me. He literally grabbed me and squeezed my back, man. I think I felt my back pop, but everything was a blur after that up until, when he squeezed me and he went against the boxing rules, because this is just a boxing match. It wasn't MMA or anything like that. As soon as he did that, the Pikes, section cleared, the teak section cleared, everybody got into the ring, people started throwing chairs. If you were at Murphy's Center that night in 1990 or 91 or whatever it was, you witnessed quite a fiasco. I don't even know how I got back to my dorm room. I looked up and everybody was on top of us. It was crazy. So it doesn't intimidate me to fight a bigger person. I don't even care I mean, of course I care if I lose, but that's not intimidating to me. It's like, oh yeah, say that to Brandon Tatum's face. I'd be like, I'll say it to his face. I don't think the guy's gonna I don't know, maybe he will. Maybe he's so into violence. It's like, hey, I saw Brian Young at the grocery store, that Grease Monkey video, soy boy, and he asked me a question, and man, I about wrung his neck, man. I about wiped the floor with him. I don't know, maybe he is like that. I hope not. I hope it's a better world. He just said I'm crazy. Well, okay, maybe I am. Let's talk about it. Tatum admits to smoking blunts at 7 years old. Look at the chat, damn it. This story isn't what we're here for. Brandon Tatum is I don't know. I'm not going to call the guy names. I do know he's an authoritarian. I do know that he's a left versus right paradigm loving, promoting person. I'm not going to sit here and go, I don't know anything about his personal life. And if I did, it's irrelevant. What I care about is he wants to initiate unjust force and violence, and he did do it as a former police officer. I think was it Arizona? Yeah, he was an Arizona cop. He did do that. He said he went to the ground with people. He took them down because they didn't obey his command. Snapzilla and Gorilla and I have talked about Brandon Tatum's law enforcement past. If you're a law enforcer, you are an authoritarian. You are for the unjust violence on peaceful people. Just because they broke your rules, just because they broke the laws and edicts of political parasites, and then the law enforcement class steps in to make sure that the words written on the politician's page comes true. I got a problem with that. Yes, I will call Brandon Tatum an authoritarian because he is. I will call him an order follower because he is. He's a backer and supporter of conformists. When you're a conformist, you can't be a moralist. You're too busy following orders regardless of what is right. You need to be about the business of doing what is right regardless of what your orders are, regardless of who told you to do what and for what reason. So am I crazy because I want to plant brush fires of freedom in the minds of men? He may speak with you. You need to see what he's saying, says Pam B. All right. Let's see what he's saying.
You realize everybody's a threat. Anybody can be a threat at any time.
Let's see.
It's very difficult. Or if you are to actually apply racism, lead them to your next term. I'm not going to do everything in the first 4 years I'm here because I need them to vote competent of making our country great or company, and you want the company to know you sticking a middle finger up at people while you driving by because you disagree with the Blue Lives Matter flag, and the person who made the video about me is a complete idiot.
I'm a complete idiot.
It's just these people.
Okay, why am I a complete idiot? I mean, like, if you're going to call somebody a complete idiot, I will call you a complete psychopath. Why? Because only a psychopath would think it's okay for an adult to straddle a kid and, quote, soften him up. That's a psychopath. I mean, but what makes me an idiot?
Into this weird world where they like, police officers are bad. They are here to violate your constitutional right. These people have never put on a uniform ever.
Do you have to put on a uniform? It's like these people were never. These people do not understand what it's like to be a Nazi SS soldier. You've never put on that SS uniform with those nice little eagles on the corners of your collar. You don't understand what it's like. So because you were never an SS soldier, you can't say, hey, what the SS soldiers did and are doing is a violation of individual rights. What do you mean you're going to uphold the Reichstag fire decree? You don't understand. You've never been an SS soldier. That's what Brandon Tatum just said. You've never put on a uniform. You don't know what it's like. I wouldn't put on a uniform because I don't want to violate people's rights. Little nice eagles on your collar. You can tell he was a cop because he likes to use the term these people. See, and I don't want people to take sides with me. I've made up my mind a long time ago. If I'm the only one that's going to stand for truth, and I know I'm not because I know a lot of you are too. But you have to come to a point where truth is truth, even if no one believes it. Lies are still lies, even if everyone believes the lies. I'm going to stand with truth. And if I find out that in my mind I'm not promoting truth, then I want to be corrected. I don't want to get offended. I don't want to sit here and go, "Oh, this guy's an idiot. This guy's an absolute idiot for not believing what my bumper sticker or my flag represents. He's an idiot." Well, maybe he is an idiot. Maybe I am an idiot. Let's talk about it. Here's why I say the thin blue line flag is the flag of domestic terrorism, because they violate on a routine basis every single day that they're on the clock. They violate every individual rights, a smidgen of freedom that, for example,
I've already said it at the beginning of this video. If you go against shall not be infringed a little bit, you are violating the Second Amendment. Name one cop that doesn't violate your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms, which shall not be infringed. Name one cop. If you had a fully automatic rifle on your dashboard when you got pulled over by a cop, name one cop who wouldn't say, whoa, that was banned by the Firearms Act of 1939 or whatever it was. That automatic firearms are illegal. If you would violate your right, or if you were, let's say you had an RPG hanging out the back of your window. Hey, I'm pulling you over. You cannot have that weapon right there. Wait a second. I have the right to keep and bear arms, and that right shall not be infringed. They'll pull you over. They'll pull you over. I know I'm taking this a little bit to an extreme, but it's for a point. Any cop that's going to violate any of your rights, any right, is a cop that doesn't care about your rights, and therefore is a tyrant. So what I'll do is, guys, I don't want to make this too long. We're already an hour and 10 minutes here. Brandon Tatum just live stream, call me an idiot, call me crazy. That may be true. I may be an idiot and I may be crazy. Give me an example. Am I crazy because I'm against the initiation of unjust force and violence against peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong? Am I an idiot because I think that nobody has a higher claim over my life and property than me, and nobody has a higher claim over your life and property than you, even if they wear a uniform, badge, and a gun and a utility belt and come with the authority of the state? Am I crazy because I believe that? Is that what crazy is? Is that what idiocy is? Is it crazy to question what the thin blue line flag actually represents and what it means and what these cops actually do on a daily basis? Is that crazy? Yeah, you just got to vote harder, says Opie. Anarchy is freedom, says no, I'm with you on all that, Brian. I don't hate all cops, but I've heard, and I am sitting here telling you right now, I do not hate cops. Cops are human beings. We all make mistakes. We all make bad decisions. You know, these cops, maybe a lot of these cops got into their profession because they really cared about justice. But I'm telling you guys, it would not take. I did a ride along with the LA County Sheriff's Department back in 2004, 2005, maybe it was 2003. I don't know. But I did a ride along. It did not take me long to find out from this cop's own lips that I was doing a ride along with. It was only supposed to be like a 2-hour ride along. I stayed in his cruiser for 8 hours, guys. And every time he pulled over to talk to one of his buddies, they were talking about taking somebody's rights away. If you are on I'm convinced if you're on the force, police force, the government is not eloquence, it's not reason, it's force. And like fire, it's a dangerous servant and a fearful master. If you're on the police force for more than a week, you already know what you got yourself into. And it's up to you to act on your morality to get yourself out. And you will get out. Because you cannot tolerate all the injustice that you're about to see, all the psychopathy, the huge egos, the desire to trample people's rights. You will not stay in that police uniform for very long. Not if you're a moral person. You can't do it. It's like, well, wait a second. Where do I derive my paycheck? Oh, from the tax cattle getting fleeced by the government? Forget this. Hey, what's up, Dash Sherwood? Thank you, man. Government is slavery, says Rick Fork. That is a very, very good reminder. Government is slavery. The synonym for government is slavery. Enslavement, shackles. Government, governo mentis, to control the mind or mind control. That's exactly what it is. Cops violate rights by simply being cops, says E. Clark. The mere idea of police is detrimental to one's rights and safety. Well said, man. Well said. Yeah, I agree, Caleb. They better wake up. They got to wake up. That's why I do these videos. Well, yeah, I don't want to call him that name there, Ehrlich. I don't like that stuff. I hate individuals who violate the will of another person, says Jeb. Yeah, me too, man. That's why I did the video. Let's see what else we got here. I'll hate them for you guys, says Ehrlich. Trot Golfer says, hit that like. Let's get over 400 likes. Oh, wow. 464 likes. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Hey, put a 1 in the room if you want me to do a real quick video about Brandon talking about me. I don't really want to do it. I've already said my piece about it, but if you want me to do it, if I get, let's see, there's 376 people in here, 381. If I get, let's say, 50 likes, I'll go ahead and do it. And guys, when I do these videos, it's not a grudge match for me. I do these videos because I think it's important for people to see the mentality that works, the inner workings of why does Brandon Tatum think like he thinks? Why do almost 2 million people follow him and then rail against pure truth in their face? Not only is it fascinating psychologically, but I think it is absolutely necessary and vital that we figure out what makes these people tick, because I want to crack the code. I want to get in there. Either I want to change him with the truth, or I want him to change me with the truth. Truth doesn't begin and end with me. And truth fears no scrutiny. Of course I'll talk to Brandon Tatum, and I would never treat him as an enemy. Baxmill says, Brian, he's still talking about your video. Okay, let's see. Did we get 50 likes? Let's see. Did we get 50 likes? Some said no. There's a couple ones. I don't know, mods. Tell me if there's 50 likes. I'll do it if you want me to, and I'll make it worth your time so we can extract some knowledge from it and maybe, become better people for it. Knowledge is power. Beckschmill, he says he is. Yeah. So let me know, mods, if we got 50. Brian, let him have it, says Valentino. That's definitely not my intention. Like, I love all people, man. I love Brandon Tatum. I wouldn't you love Brandon Tatum to just see the light and go, wait a second, why have I been pushing Trump for the last 4 years? Why do I continue to push Trump when he was bought out by the Rothschilds Inc., literally under Wilbur Ross back in the 1990s when he got underwater with Taj Mahal, and now he's dangling on the banker string to the point where 25 years later he makes Wilbur Ross the Commerce Secretary? How can I back him? How do I back Donald Trump when he's for red flag laws and bump stock bans and take guns first, due process second, increase the coffers of the military and prison industrial complex? Wouldn't it be awesome if he just came to a come to Jesus moment and was like, holy cow, how can I be conservative? How can I play the red versus blue, team blue game anymore? All right, people are saying, yes, do it. It was better with Trump. Well, that's all part of the plan, though. That's all part of the plan. In some ways, it was better under Obama than it was under Bush, but that doesn't mean Obama and Bush and Trump and Clinton are working for you or on your team. Yeah, they make it look like that, man. It's like they take 10 steps in to take your freedom, and then they give you 2 or 3 steps back. They sprinkle a little crumbs, and it's like, oh, thank you for relieving our oppression. Thank you for giving us a little bit more breathing room. Thank you for giving us back the money that you stole from us. Trot Golfer says it's a slow death, folks. Let's go. Brandon is about the new black conservative movement with this guy, maybe, says David Sawyer. Again, no ill will against Brandon Tatum. Tatum isn't intellectually honest enough to see that he may be wrong on something. Well, maybe he'll change. And why do I, at 260 pounds, stalk a 140 pound guy in a grocery store and threaten bodily harm? I don't know if he actually threatened to get the guy, but he did let us know what was going on in his mind, Pam. Almost went hands on in the grocery store. Okay, guys, thanks for that. Whoa, was there another super chat that I missed? Hold on. What did I miss? I must have missed a super chat. Let's see. Hey, what's up, James Barnes? James Barnes is here. Back Schmill is here. Zilla's here. Deborah Rogers, Nelson, Chad, Aurora, Darth Silver Sith, Des Sherwood's here. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to scroll down. I'm on my phone. Holy cow! Exercise Freedom dropped $9.99. It says that thin blue line represents ever internal investigations every time they enforced an immoral law, every time they chose to protect and serve the tyrants instead of the people. Amen, Exercise Freedom. That is exactly what that thin blue line represents, and so much more tyranny. I'm going through some other super chats, guys. Bear with me here. Thanks for hanging on. 369 people, 541 likes. I appreciate it. God, can you imagine me starting out a video going, the only reason Brandon Tatum's talking about me is because he's jealous? Wow. What a pompous a-hole I would be if I did that. Oh my gosh. Brandon Tatum is racking up the old. Look at that. Look at that. $50, $6.99, $5. He's getting a whole slew of. This guy rakes in like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in super chats every single time. More power to you, buddy. That's soy boy grease monkey videos. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's see. I think I caught up all the super chats. Let me go to the end here. Sorry for the. I know it's making a sound on my phone probably. Let's see. Joe Ramirez. Hey, what's up, Joe? Thanks for that. Thanks for that Cash App today, brother. I appreciate that. I sent him 2 super chats and he responded to both. Go back and check out what he said. Okay, I'll do that, Joe Ramirez. Matter of fact, I will be doing this video since a lot of you guys said go ahead and do it. And I'll probably include your... How did he respond to you? How did he respond? Did he say... Let's see. Let's see if I can see Joe Ramirez super chats. Ace of Spades. How much did you send him, Joe? $5? Yeah, it's not letting me go all the way up to the top of the screen. I would probably have to go back. Let's see. Ace of Spades. Is it under your name, Joe? What's up, Gabriel777? Everyone that has a channel takes money somehow. Justin Clark says, Brian, I wore them uniforms for 13 years. Do not stop what you're doing. You're correct. I'll never go back. Hey, Justin Clark, what police department did you work for? You were a cop for 13 years? I would love to hear your story, Justin. Desert 1911 says, the truth you tell is less popular than celebrities like him with bogus lies. Desert 1911, thanks for that super chat. Joe Ramirez says, exactly back Schmill. Let's see. Brian, you need some AB in your life? What's AB? What's AB? I'm going to try to find Joe Ramirez super chat here. Oh, I don't think, if I go back in the timeline, I don't think it goes back in the timeline of the super chat. Brian, thanks for the live. Good to hear from you. Hey, thanks, Trout Golfer. I appreciate you. Thanks for all the DMs you send me with all those interesting links. Okay. Jack Posobiec called out the moon landing. Oh, that's interesting. Auditing Britain. I love that guy. I love that guy. That guy's hilarious. Paulie says, keep up the great work, Brian. Thank you, Paulie. Tater's chat is full of the same people that defend warp speed. Oh my God, Operation Warp Speed. There's another thing, guys. When I talk about Trump, I always forget about Operation Warp Speed and the fact that he didn't fire Anthony Fauci. Can you get a little termination with that? Well, not if you're a part of the Trump organization. No, you can't. Drunken boxing, MMA, spot on. Auditing Britain, the dude walked away from him twice. Yeah, I agree. It's the Trump shot is what it is. Did Justin ever write back? I can't keep up with the live here. Did Justin ever say what police department he worked for? Eagle County Sheriff's Office in Colorado. I would love to hear about your experience up there, Justin, and why you quit. Thanks for that super chat, Justin. Eagle County Sheriff's Office, Colorado. Oh, is Auditing Britain in the room? I didn't see his people like Tatum are artificially popular. CommieTube selects people who support Soros WEF policies. I don't know if Brandon Tatum supports Soros WEF policies. I'd have to look. I'd have to see some rock solid proof before I said that. Those who sell their souls get an account boost. It could be, but like I don't know. Maybe people fall through the algorithm cracks or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I used to get a lot of views before I got initially demonetized back in May of 2018. And then after demonetization, it's just the shadow banning commenced. Let's go, Brian, says Dave Sawyer. All right, guys. Hey, man. Thanks, men and women. thanks for hanging out. I will see you guys in the next live stream, and I'll try to get on. I don't know if I wouldn't say Tatum is afraid of debate. He probably thinks that I'm not worth his time, and if you think like an authoritarian, I think that you would think like that. So I don't know. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, please hit the thumbs up and share this video. I would like to have a discussion with Brandon Tatum, not because I want to tell him what for, but I truly do want to set brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. I've got no ill will against the guy. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Take care.